Where in clock room? Hello everyone, this is Quiversee. Welcome back to more of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. While this is going on, I'm just going to take a moment to apologize because this is done in post as the initial recording's audio somehow glitched out really bad. The good news is, as far as I can tell, it only happened to this part, so it should not be a problem going forward. Anyway, wearing the gold and silver ring in this clock room has opened up a great pit beneath it. I think at this point I was literally I was just waiting to see what happened when the clock stopped moving. Which was open up that top left room. You know, now that I'm actually looking at this and editing, I think that the thing that dictates whether or not that top left area is open is if one of the hands is covering those skull panels. Not 100% sure at this point, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, down in that little hidey hole, there is a save, which I'm going to take, obviously, the opportunity here to re-equip myself before saving, because the gold and silver ring don't really do anything for you otherwise. Lovely. And on the other side, upgrades! Good old life and heart max-ups. Always a pleasure to find those. And no, there's nothing hiding in the wall. But, you know, I had to be sure. I had to find out. And it turns out there wasn't. And we find ourselves in a room that feels a little on the upside-down side. With a giant, mysterious, cuboid thing in the middle of the room.
Alucard?
That voice. Maria?
I'm sorry. You were right. He is with the enemy.
Richter Belmont, in league with Dracula.
He must be under someone else's control. We can't hurt him, whatever we do.
But he must be stopped.
Yes, but can you? Then for all our sakes, show me that you will.
And in order to test our resolve, Maria, who I have no idea how she got down here, if I'm being honest, because how did she get here without those rings? She is here to test us with her power of summoning animal companions. She is not very tough.
You're stronger than I am. You can save Richter. Will you? Please?
I can't promise that, but I will stop him.
If it must be that way. Here, I found these. Take them.
And this is the real reason we needed to go down here.
And these are?
If you wear them, you can see beyond illusions.
Thank you. I go to find Richter. Stay and pray for him.
Those holy glasses are what we need in order to pierce the veil and identify the source of Richter's, I guess we'll call it corruption. They're actually not a bad piece of equipment all their own. Not great in the defense department, but they make you smart. Everyone knows glasses make you smart. That's what cartoons in the 90s taught us. Anywho, there really isn't much left to be done besides take the fight to Richter once again. So we're going to be cutting to that in just a moment. And here we are. So, even though we just got the holy glasses, we're actually not going to be progressing quite the way as intended yet, as you will see shortly.
I've been waiting for you.
Answer me. Why is a Belmont planning to resurrect Count Dracula?
Dracula rises once a century. One chance for each Belmont to shine, and then we're finished. Forgotten. If I bring him back now, the battle can last for eternity.
You have lost your way. So be it, Vampire Hunter. Let your battle begin with me.
And yeah, that scene is mostly identical to how it was before, but there's one key difference in this fight, and that is the mysterious floating orb! It was hidden from us before, but with the glasses we can see it. However, if we defeat Richter now that we have this newfound knowledge and power...
My greatest attack!
We have to wait for him to do his greatest attack, which is summon the rain. To be fair, that's a pretty potent attack.
It's over, Belmont.
So, the war between humans and vampires finally ends here. What need for the shepherd when the wolves have all gone, huh? My time. It's over now.
So yeah, the scene right there was basically identical, but there is a reason that I went through this process. Because what happens after Dracula's castle is destroyed is different.
So you made it.
Alucard, where's Richter?
I'm sorry.
Thank you for stopping him. This must have been his fate somehow.
Are your travels over then?
No, not until I learn what brought him here, what made him.
I understand. Heaven guide you, Maria. Farewell.
Goodbye, Alucard. Heaven guide you too.
Yeah, because before it was Alucard who wasn't really sure what was going on or why Richter went and did what he did. But in this case, he knows. He's just saying that he was unable to stop him. It is nice that Maria doesn't necessarily hold it against him. Anyways, now it's time to continue for real. So it's worth noting I did make a couple of changes before going into the fight here, because you can see I was just obliterating poor Richter. So I basically made two small adjustments. One of them was obviously I switched out the sword for the fairy, and I also went down to a broadsword. I didn't want to go to like my weakest set, and I didn't want to lose my defenses so I would die or anything. I just wanted to make sure that if I accidentally hit Richter, I didn't kill him in like 5 hits. So we have a precision weapon and no random familiar shenanigans causing damage. The shield will not protect you from the light, but the holy mail does. Which I honestly already forget if I was using that or not. I could go back and look, but I'm not gonna. Anyways, Richter decides to, actually turn up the heat on his fighting powers there, making it a little bit tricky to actually hit the orb. But the fairy is also there to help me stay alive just in case things did start taking a turn for the worst. I mean, Richter actually does put up a decent fight when you're trying to go for the orb. And I kind of like that, because this is the way you're intended to do the fight.
How inconvenient. But we've only just begun. The Master's ascension is at hand.
And thus the true evil reveals its face. The Dark Priest Shaft was controlling Richter from the shadows in order to revive his master Dracula. And now that the plan has been revealed, something else gets revealed. In the skies above Castlevania, there is another Castlevania, but upside down. I'm being honest, I have absolutely no idea why this is a thing. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. But, like, why does Dracula need an upside down castle? I don't get it.
No! What have I done?
You saved him, Alucard. Thank you so much.
Alucard? The Alucard? You can't be. That was over 300 years ago.
Never mind that. Is the man who controlled you in that castle?
Yes, I think so.
Maria, take Richter and leave here. I'll finish this.
All right. Good luck.
I'd forgotten about that. I can't be the only one that notices the severe disparity between Richter's voice acting in that scene, right? Like, he went all out for that "what have I done" scream, and then immediately after that, it just like, it seemed like he wasn't even trying. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is, but I find it extremely funny. Anyways, enough of that. We are now in Upside Down Castle, which means it's time to leave Upside Down Castle. I forget why I did this, if I'm being completely real. I know I had a reason. And I actually think it might have just been that, because that, you know, map square equals walk armor defense.
The Dark Priest shaft. He's trying to revive Dracula at the center of the other castle. Hurry!
Yep. Still have to ask why, you know, why other castle? Okay. Right, and I'll tell you right now, what I just did there, switching to the Alucard set, bad idea. We will see very soon, bad idea. Like, if I was better at this game, it would be a good idea, because boosting luck, therefore boosting chance to get rare stuffs. But with my ability and all that, bad idea. Upside Down Castle. It is as literal as it sounds. They literally just took the entire game map and flipped it upside down. Of course, there are new items and hidden treasures to be found. There's still a cross in that candlestick, though. Heart max, life max, more heart max, and a royal cloak. Which I really like the royal cloak just from the appearance alone, as we will see soon enough. A lot of stat ups, and the bastard sword. We don't use that too much, but royal cloak, gorgeous blue cape. I love it. Standard sword. Yep, and it is indeed a standard sword. But doggone that cape. I love it. Favorite shade of blue, right there, if I'm being honest. And I just have to point out again the fact that it goes on the bat wings. I love it so much. Anyway. I forgot about Yorick and his skull. Yeah. So, Upside Down Castle. This is why every single screen, including the ones that are outside, have ceilings. As opposed to just being like an invisible wall. Because, well, they had to make it upside down. Invisible floor doesn't seem as efficient as invisible wall. Or ceiling, I guess, would be the proper term. This is also... Yorick. This is also why there's, like, some areas with candlesticks that are really high up on the ceiling. And it's like, why the heck is this here? You'd shoot it as a bat and it falls to the floor and then you can't get it? It's because of this. It's because of the Upside Down Castle. Now, so far, things here are relatively tame. I mean, that room right there had all the flying flea men and stuff like that on the regular castle, and it had nothing on the inverse. But it's not going to take long before things start to really ramp up. Lightning Mail is pretty good, though. Good for when you're dealing with lightning attacks. Which I'm trying to think how many of those there even are. I know that there are a decent amount. But not too many. Oh yeah, and the transition rooms and the teleporters also completely upside down. So the first thing I wanted to try when I got here was to see if the inverted teleporter connected to the main castle. It doesn't. I'm not surprised that it doesn't, but it doesn't. Also, the one and only thing that is not inverted in the entire castle, and I pointed this out here too. You see the CD logo? Yeah, that is the one thing that did not get inverted. It is still right side up, no matter what. I don't know why. I'm gonna guess it has something to do with the fact that it's a loading room. But again, I am amused. Right. Forgot about him. I am extremely disappointed about something related to him, which will be made clear a little bit later when we actually take him on. Library card. Yep, even in the inverted castle, library cards are still a thing, and the library can still be teleported to. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing here. I think I might just be heading to see what's up in there, in this room. Yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank on what I'm doing at this point, because I know I don't go down that hallway yet. For what it's worth, I've literally only, like, recorded one further episode ahead at the point of recording this, this post voiceover. So, there's still a lot that I'm kind of having to remember. Ah, that's right, this thing. So, forgot there were Skull Lords here. So that iron ball there, you know, it's an alright find. But you know what's an even better find is the fact that this castle's inversion can be used to help you find secrets. Because the fact that there was a breakable wall there means that there's a breakable wall in the regular version in the exact same space. And there might be something different inside. I think at this point I'm literally just gathering the map before I go back to demonstrate that fact. So how about we just skip ahead to when I actually do? Honestly, whenever I do have to do this kind of post-editing thing with it, I try to keep the points that I am showing the same points that I was actually, like, talking about anything in the main recording. And I was talking a lot there that I just kind of cut out because I can't tell what I was saying because of the glitch. At any rate, we got the flame mail, which is basically the lightning mail, but for fire. So with that, back to the inverted castle we go. So I'm pretty sure that we are about to go and deal with that bat after I, of course, save, for safety's sake. And it's about time to demonstrate exactly why it was that I said that I am upset with him. And I admit it's over something really stupid. Yes, me and the little bat familiar buddy. Head on up. And go the wrong way. Actually, I think at this point I'm mulling over what it is I wanted to do. I was debating going either up and through the tunnel or going back to deal with the bat. And I don't know why I'm going in here, because this is the teleporter room. You know, I think I was just getting turned around at the fact that it's an inverted upside-down castle for some reason. Even though the map makes it very easy to tell where you're trying to actually go. At least for something this mundane. Ignore the failure of controls there. So yes, big bat. Kind of funny how we only get this boss fight of a giant bat this late in the game. Starts off being a bit of an annoyance. He just kind of flies around. Blows wind with his wings. Really powerful wind at that. He has that little corkscrew attack we saw before. But here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a bat battle. And I'm upset because anytime you take damage in a bat form, or wolf form for that matter, you get knocked out of it. So it makes it incredibly inefficient. But doggone it. I wanted to have a battle with him as a bat. And it's not very feasible. Granted, you can see here, I am a determined son of a gun to try and make this work. But, yeah, it's obvious that it's not really working too well. Although I did kind of learn here that if you get behind him, his little gust of wind attack doesn't do much to you. So that's good. And then that. The bat has a death hug. Which I guess is fitting. It's supposed to be like a vampire bat. It's probably draining the life out of us. Although, thankfully, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't actually drain, i.e. he doesn't heal from it. At any rate, round 1 goes to Darkwing Bat. But round 2... well, let's see how that goes. Thankfully, this time with 100% less getting lost in a straight line. Round 2 with Darkwing Bat. Honestly, we've already seen pretty much all that this guy has to offer, so I think I'm just going to preface this by saying, doggone it, I love the animation on his wings. It's mesmerizing. It's at that, like, middle ground between the 2D and the 3D. You know, because it's... I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Because I'm pretty sure it is a 3D model for the wings. I think it's just because they're so flat. But it makes such a cool effect, and I love the aesthetic it makes. I think it also helps the fact that the bat's body itself is just so hilariously simple. I'm gonna say right now, I did not intend to do Dark Metamorphosis. I was trying to do another Spirit Summon, I think. At any rate, we get the Ring of Vlad. The first of 5, I believe it is, relics. Yep, 1 of 5 treasures. It plus 10. If memory serves, we need to get all 5 of those treasures of Vlad in order to meet the man himself. And each one has a special buff. That one being a simple stat buff. Anyways, yeah, now we're gonna get to see why having the Alucard gear on is probably not such a good idea. Because that bat was one thing. You know, as a boss. Obviously, it's going to be tough. But now we get to see what some of the random minions of Inverted Castle are like. Starting with this! And yeah, just because the landscape's the same doesn't mean that there's not going to be new traps, too. Like those spiky chandeliers. And literal bomb man straight out of Mega Man. Like, I can't be the only one that sees that specifically with the bomb knights, right? His pose is even the same. Yeah, apparently I'm not getting the memo quite yet about being in Alucard form. Oh, this is where I found that. I knew I was getting this at some point here. I forgot that it was behind a hidden wall. The Moon Rod! That thing is awesome! Because it can do that! Come on, there you go. Yeah, that attack is insanely good, and here's where it's like, screw Alucard, I want Moon. The Walk Armor is not a bad choice here, but honestly, the Fire Mail would have been a better choice because the bombs from the Bomb Knights are fire. And they are one of the more damaging things here. Second only to the Spiky Chandeliers, which, fun fact, Spike Breaker does not work on. I mean, yeah, it'll reduce the damage you take, but not any more than anything else. And it does not do what its name implies and break the spikes. Spike Breaker is only for, specifically, stationary spikes. It will get more use later, don't get me wrong. Now is not the time. And yeah, now is when I realize Fire Mail is smart. First, let the fairy do its potion magic. Yeah. Alright. Death of the Bomb Knight comes a nice little level up. And I lose my holy water because a knife dropped it in a spike trap. An unfortunate reality of the Inverted Castle. Sometimes you're not gonna get the tools you want. But, in my defense there, I guess, the knife did do some decent work against that Bomb Knight. Granted, could have used the Moon Rod there as well, but the knife worked. And then, of course, I do that, and yeah, no surprise, there ain't no way I'm actually getting that doggone sirloin. It's gone. No wall meat for Alucard today. And yeah, you can see there the big difference of the Fire Mail. With the Walk Armor, I was taking, what was it, I think 40, 41 damage. With the Fire Mail, 18. Even though it has less defense, that fire resistance matters a lot. Like, that's gotta be more than 50% reduction. So, yeah, at this point, it's just back to exploring, because despite what I just said about the Fire Mail being better than the Walk Armor in this situation, Walk Armor's still real good, and I still want to empower it. So every single square must be inspected. I don't know why I thought being a wolf was a good idea there, because that was not an accident. There was intent in that particular transformation. When I could have just, I don't know, turned into mist and floated through. Or just done this as a bat. I don't know. Sometimes I have to look back on the decisions I make while I'm doing these things and just go, what the heck was I thinking? Why did I think that this would work? It happens more often than you might think, no matter how often you think it happens. Oh, right. This bit. I greatly dislike this area right here. The inverted clock tower machinery zone is pain incarnate. And the fire mail is no longer to my benefit. And I don't remember if I ever actually figure that out. Don't get me wrong, this tame room here is nothing. What we just saw with that cloaked knight was a preamble. Because there's another enemy that appears in there, and I hate it. First, we gotta deal with this guy. In the room where we fought cloaked knights on the regular castle. Gotta go through them again, of course. And that's all there is here. Of course, Mr. the Knight there does not want to let us leave. Unfortunately for him, we disagree. And Alucard has the means to back it up. Alright, but yeah, now to get to why this area truly sucks. The Cloaked Knights are definitely a big part of it, but... I really hate when they do that. That! They are paired with the yellow Medusa heads, which means that all that happens in here is getting ping-ponged around by being turned to stone, smacked by swords, and having it happen on rotating gears, which, of course, means that I'm going to be falling when I'm stuck on them as a statue. It ain't fun. And on top of that, remember what we had to do in here the first time on the regular castle? Hitting those gears to open up doors? Or, well, a door specifically. Yeah, we gotta do that again, but dealing with all this crap. The good news is that the Cloaked Knights don't respawn like they do in that one room. So once you get rid of all of them, it's just dealing with the Medusa heads and the gears. The problem is, Medusa heads and gears causes what just happened there to happen like 20 times. So... it's kind of annoying. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure that most of the rest of this is basically just going through this entire rigmarole. Because, yeah, that door right there is where we're trying to get through, and we can't exactly, mist through it. So, you know what? I'm not gonna make you suffer through it like I did. We're gonna just speed this part up. Because, like, seriously, this went on for, like, at least 10-20 minutes, I think. And even sped up, this is obviously taking a while. I'm having to stop and heal myself every now and again. I do try out the monster vials, which is honestly pretty nice. And what just happened there, that was the life apple. That was my fairy saving my life with the life apple. So, that's pretty neat. Yeah, it's basically just kill the knights and then dance around the Medusa heads until mission accomplished. There's, of course, no gears in that room I was just in. Pentagrams, just to get rid of the knights. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I was saving a lot of my mass attack items for. Don't know why I thought a fireball spell would work there, because that was definitely an intended move. And yeah, sure enough, get myself back down on the bottom floor. Okay, there's where I switched back to defense mode. Yeah, it turns out having, decent armor on actually helps a good bit. I'm not sure why I went after that particular gear again, because I know I already did that one. But that one on the top right is the last one that needs to be hit. And of course, it needs a bunch of hits. But with it, we get ourselves the Sunstone, a Diamond, and a Life Apple to help make up for the one that we just lost. And with that, this area is cleared. Just wanted to go through that last door to make sure I didn't miss anything at all. And yep, it's another big open room that we can dash through thanks to our wolf powers. Whew. Oh yeah, the Dragon Helm. I remember this being pretty decent. Yeah, it boosts your attack as well as your defense. It lowers... It says it lowers defense. So, I'm not sure if that means that it's actually lowering the enemy's defense, or if it is raising your strength and therefore by proxy you're dealing more damage, which is the same effect as if you had lowered their defense. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, good defense and deals more damage. So, me like. Doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Anyway, decide it's time to leave that area for the moment and make our way to the inverted wall, which of course has a save room, thank goodness. And yeah, basically just figuring out where I wanted to go in terms of equipment at this point. I think. I'm actually not... Oh, right! That's what I wanted to do! I forgot about this! Because now that the inverted castle has been unlocked, the librarian has some new things to sell.
Young Master Alucard.
How about this?
Young Master Alucard. Yeah, now he actually sells us the good stuff. Which, granted, there's a lot of things here that aren't really gonna matter. I still want that Joseph's Cloak. But the magic scroll, that's the big one. So basically, whenever you have a spell that you don't know, you can buy the scroll from it, or for it rather, from the librarian. But only some of them. So like, for example, if I didn't already learn, like, say, Dark Metamorphosis and the Fireball spell, I probably would have been able to buy the scrolls for those as soon as I got to the librarian the first time. Tetra Spirit is one of the spells that we are missing. I do say one of, because there is actually another one which we'll get over in a minute. But yes, Tetra Spirits. It also has that red arrow. That means that you need to hold the direction up before scrolling it all the way down. Like, you have to hold it rather than just hit it. And yes, I messed up the command, and I had a library card in my hand, which means I wasted a library card. It is what it is. And yeah, I'm basically just trying to demonstrate the spell. And there it goes. Yeah, it's a little tricky to pull off. I'm not sure what it is I'm doing wrong on these failed attempts. But I've not been great at a lot of these spells anyway. But I don't know. It's weird. For something where it's like really hard to pull off some of these spells because they're just, you know, like fighting game commands, which I myself have never been great at. But like, I don't know, there's something about it that makes them feel more rewarding, especially since the harder spells are genuinely harder to put in. Like, I think the only one that I can do, like, genuinely with next to no failures is the regular spirit spell. Although I think, saying that now, I'm pretty sure that's what I was... Oh, no, that's what I was trying to do. Okay. I was trying to unlock that last spell. Because I remembered that there was the spell Soul Steal. Like, that's a spell you don't forget exists. And I remembered it had a lot of weird buttons tied to it. So I was literally just mashing buttons and attack until I unlocked it. Which is, as you can see, it's a bit of a complicated maneuver. And it costs 50 mana. But yeah, it steals HP from enemies. Like, if you're fighting a large group of enemies, this can keep you alive pretty handily. Though granted, the fact that it has such a steep cost and the fact that the librarian doesn't sell a scroll of it, or if he does, he just hasn't sold it yet because we haven't hit whatever milestone is needed for that. Well, I think that there's enough of a barrier. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. So next time on Castlevania Symphony of the Night, we are going to continue exploring the inverted castle. And hopefully there will be no more audio errors from here on out. Until then, thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.